Well, good afternoon. Thanks for joining Jonathan and Julie D. Should we say in the afternoon? well, good
Maybe
afternoon.
so.
Well, good afternoon, Julie.
Howdy, how you doing, Jonathan?
Well, just got done with a bunch of doctor appointments. So we're
Mm.
running a couple hours late from our normal broadcast time. Uh,
Yeah, well, I hope you get to feel a little better.
yep. And today we got two special guests, Bonnie Johnson and Douglas. Um, how do I say
Dobson,
your?
Dobson, Dobson.
All right. Well, good having you guys
Welcome.
on our show. Good
Thank you
having you
for
guys
having
on.
us.
Yep, good having you guys here today. So, we're going to be covering some stuff today about human trafficking as well. Um, right before we get to this broadcast, I've got a little bit of breaking news I've got to share with my audience what's going on out here in Arizona. So, I'm
Hmm.
going to just share this real quick with everybody.
Okay.
So, the morning talk show host gal, Um, Samantha Guthrie, her mother was abducted over in Pinal County, Arizona. And at the scene, they did find blood, and it's not looking too good at this moment.
That's scary.
But I understand. So we're going to try our best to be succinct with you in the future. And also more important for you to understand is we have a lot of work in front of us. We have a job to do. And we have someone's life who is in jeopardy. And so job number one is we got to find her, and we got to work hard to do that. I understand there's great attention on this, and rightfully so. And I appreciate it, and I thank you for it because it has generated a lot of leads for us. And so we're tracking those leads, and we're doing things with evidence that you would expect us to be doing. So having said that, we're going to set this up. I know that a number of you yesterday, you guys drove me crazy. Yesterday I was going from a.m. to all the way to 9, 10, 11 midnight answering concerns and questions, and it's just too tough. And it's not fair to the case. So what I'm going to tell you is today we're going to do this similar to what we're doing right now. Here we'll take questions. It's not really my briefing, it's your briefing. You'll be able to ask us some questions. We'll probably shut you off after a while because I just can't be here all day. We have work to do. But we'll take some questions, and then in a couple of days, breaks. We'll do this every couple of days. So, and we'll set up with you through our PIO teams to give you anything that comes up that might change, but clearly they will notify you on these, what I call media briefings. So with that, I'm going to ask John to come up. If you've got a statement to say, John, and then we'll take some questions and we'll get back to work.
Hello, I'm John Edwards. My spelling is Jonedwards. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI's office here in Tucson. First, we want the community to know that the FBI is doing everything in our power to bring Nancy Guthrie home to her family. The FBI is working alongside the Pima County Sheriff's Department on this incident. In terms of what the FBI is doing, we are providing the following support. Primarily, it's analytical and technical support in the following ways. We're downloading and analyzing cell phones, obtaining cell tower information, conducting interviews, and providing any and all investigative support that the Sheriff's Department needs. We're looking at this from every angle, but we need your help. If you live in the area or saw something on Saturday night, the 31st of January, or Sunday morning, the 1st of February, please report it to the Pima County Sheriff's Department or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one. Again, please help us bring Nancy Guthrie home. Thank you.
We'll take some questions.
Sheriff, is there any indication so far as to whether this was a random abduction or targeted?
It's like I said earlier, we're looking at all the leads, and we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that. We'll look at both sides of that.
Do you have any
idea
what Nancy Guthrie was wearing, or the type of car that she might have left from, or any identifiable information that the public could use to help with those tips?
We do not.
Sheriff, do you believe that one or more than one person was involved in the kidnapping?
I just no clue. It could be one. It could have been more. I don't
How
know.
many demands?
Let me get
One second.
Is there any indication that Nancy Guthrie is still alive? We know the medication played a critical role here. It's been 48 hours. She needs it every single day. Are you looking for someone that is still alive?
All right. So I want to just say to my viewing audience out there, if you guys can put the word out for Nancy Guthrie. Hold on one second, guys. All right. Looks like we have lost some people out of our audience. Hold on a second. Well, while we're waiting on them to come back into the studio, I want to share this real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah, we lost you out of the studio, Julie.
Yeah, I know. It looks like I'm still there.
Okay.
All right.
But I'm not
Get out.
I'm not seeing you.
Okay. I'll leave and come back in.
And it looks like we lost those two as well.
The whole thing froze up, but it's still counting our live. We're 8:59 into it.
Right,
9
right.
minutes in.
Yep. Well, I'm live right now, so let me see what happened to these guys. Hold on a
All
sec.
right.
All right, go ahead and log back in.
Okay, I'm gonna leave and come back in.
All right. Okay. Okay, we got you back.
Yay.
Now let me see what happened. Let me see what happened to these guys.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off.
There, I got. Yep. Let me call these guys. Let me make sure they're not.
Wow. Guess they don't want that information getting out there.
Let me see. Hold on a second.
Interesting.
Okay. Oh, there they are.
Great.
Add the stream. All right, there you guys are.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it looked like it froze up a bit.
Yeah, you lost all of you guys.
There
All right. Well, anyway, so if you guys get a chance, for my viewing audience out here in Arizona, if you see Miss Guthrie, I'm gonna go ahead and enlarge this photo. I'm just gonna share it with real quick, and then I'll get some more posted after this broadcast. But we do want to try to help bring this woman home. Let's see. I believe that's it.
That's not a good sign if they
Yep.
found blood at the scene. I
No.
can't
Nope.
imagine.
It sounds
Never.
very serious. It also sounds like it could be
Yes.
something close to human
Okay.
trafficking as well.
So if you guys can see that second picture to the right, and
Yes.
let me see if I can enlarge that for you guys. The gal right there on the right hand side. So right here on the left side, here, I'm just going to point this out. This gal right here, if you see my little hand on her, that's the gal from the Today Show. She's the
Okay.
Today Show host, and right there is her mother. That's her mother that's missing right now.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you guys out there out
Scary.
here and there's down in the Tucson area, if you guys see Miss Guthrie, automatically report it to 911. If she's got an abductor with her, I would recommend highly do not try to intervene. Get 911 involved. If you got to, tell them to wherever they're going and keep law enforcement on the phone, but just don't intervene. You don't know if this guy's armed and dangerous. So, but I would say at this moment, I'd have to say he's dangerous based upon the fact that they did find blood, um, and that's never a good sign.
No,
So,
it's not.
so, anyways, let's get to you, Bonnie.
Hi,
So,
Jonathan. How are you? It's nice to see you again.
yeah, haven't had you on my show in almost what, 3 years, 4
It's been
years?
about 3 years. Yep.
Yep. So, you guys still working the human trafficking cases?
Yes, we are. We've been working with our security company, and we now have Urbana Security Corp. So now we're working in the state of Indiana against human and child trafficking out here as well.
Well,
So
great.
we're focused on the state of Indiana because that's where our business license is at. But yes, we're still working on it. We've been doing really well out here. I'll let Douglas kind of introduce our business and share some information with you on what we're doing.
Yeah, please do, Douglas.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So my name is Douglas Dobson. I come from a defense contracting background. I've worked overseas in Southeast Asia, Southwest Asia for 20 years continuously. My biggest focus is typically going to be a national security type standpoint. But if you look at what has happened over probably the last 10, 15 years, every vertical of crime has really been pushed into the cartels to where they're really the ringleader of everything now, be it human trafficking, fraud, drug dealing, murder for hire. All of these things are going to the cartels. And they're
Wow,
only
really?
getting stronger and stronger every day.
Yeah.
You know, it recently came out that CJMP actually has U.S. military, ex-U.S. military, as their trainers for their security forces. And we're talking,
Okay,
we're talking.
sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt my ignorance for the CNJP. What does that stand for?
That's the cartel.
Cartel.
Oh, okay. That's the short abbreviation that we're using.
Right, and it appears that they have hired someone from CAG, which is Delta Force, along with somebody from SEAL Team 6. These have gotten out of the military, and a few Army Rangers. So they're dealing in very high-end guys now. You know, these aren't just local drug dealers anymore. They're really becoming the state in Mexico.
Okay.
Providing services and all kinds of things.
Well, not to interrupt you, Douglas, this guy was SEAL Team 6. Do they have a name on him yet?
I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into that, but the IC, everybody took alert as soon as word came out. You know, once you say, hey, we've got someone from CAG training these guys, yeah, everybody immediately is going to be looking into that.
Right.
But as far as the actual names, no, I don't, and I would leave that probably to the mill side. But it does make a question of how does this get settled? When we look at ICE and we look at Border Patrol that's working in Minneapolis right now, you know, it's particularly Minneapolis, there was an insurgency going on. You know, they had a command and control cell. They had agitators on tap. They had all of these things that even local or federal law enforcement is not really set up to deal with.
Right.
And where does that line get crossed, and how far do we go on, you know, by putting military forces in this mix?
Right.
And I will point out that under the Biden administration, the laws governing the intelligence community radically changed. It is legal at this point for any county sheriff or any local law enforcement to request help all the way up to the CIA.
Right.
Now, that help may not be granted, but before they never even could ask. But now they do have a conduit to ask and to get some focus. But how far do we got to go?
Right.
Right.
The last time we met or talked, Jonathan, when I was on your show 3 years ago, was about the open borders and the border invasion and what that caused
Yep.
with human and child trafficking.
Right.
We have found out a few years later, after we spoke on the news last, that we have millions of children and women missing from that open border invasion. And
Oh,
that is
exactly.
from many American women and children also went missing onto the Mexico side.
Yep.
This has been something that has been a pandemic and systemic, and something that's been around for a while that's been going on. So I want to re-stress this because I know Jonathan and I did discuss this at one time when we went on the news 3 years ago.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's been one of the biggest problems we had that down in the Tucson sector, the Yuma sector. Those are the two number one human trafficking regions in the country. And I know in Indiana, Indianapolis, I mean, New York, even including Las Vegas, we'd have the human trafficking going right from the Tucson sector right over into Vegas for uh, for child sex, where these officials would come in, hire to have sex with these underage minors. And there's been several arrested that were involved in that. But then again, human trafficking is a multi-trillion-dollar operation, folks.
Yes, it is. Human trafficking is the number one lucrative business in the United States of America. It surpassed narcotic sale drugs on the streets.
100%.
So it has surpassed it since last time we discussed this, Jonathan, on the news.
Yeah. But we've been right now to kind of answer your question a little bit, Douglas. We have right now we've got active military forces on the borders right now. We're not talking.
Absolutely.
We're not talking National Guard or active
Yeah,
militaries. I
right.
just covered that a couple weeks back, and I'm going to be soon be making another trip down. My understanding, we've had over 10,000 deployed to the borders now. And I'm going to be down there reporting on the southern borders, and I'm going to be down there reporting on this as well.
Yeah, we've always had somewhat of a presence down there. There was a JTF, I forget exactly what it was called, but a joint task force
Right.
that had U.S. Mill along with Border Patrol and running that. And now, because of how the laws have changed, there's an X amount of ground from the border that actually belongs to the military.
Right.
And the Trump administration has put that across the entire border.
Right. So exactly how are you guys nowadays working with law enforcement, with your local agencies and federal?
Okay, so I want to step in really quick and thank our local law enforcement, and also the state of Indiana is working with State Patrol of Indiana of Truckers Against Trafficking. And actually, the officers out here have been wonderful to work with. We had found a few unregistered sex offenders from other states that were living here. And recently, one that they went and raided the house, and the man had actually took his life, a registered sex offender, when they showed up just down in the area I'm in. So, yes. So local law enforcement's been wonderful. National Guard, going back to like some of the things that we're dealing with ICE and, these cities that are really corrupted with illegals and cartels. Half of our National Guard is deployed in Minneapolis right now from where I'm at, sitting in Indiana.
Really?
So, yes.
Wow.
But I want to thank everybody for their service that has worked with Douglas and I, because they've been very cooperative and very well to work with law enforcement and National Guard here.
Right.
Beautiful.
One of the things, Jonathan, that we do is really some of the just easy things, okay? And that's getting placards that have the National Human Trafficking Hotline number and information of how to get help. And then we want to put that in every hotel in our county and every truck stop and all of that. So if you go into a bathroom, there it is.
Right.
So that people can get that access. We have, the United States has resources for this, but a lot of us just simply aren't aware of it.
Right.
Because human trafficking is something that, it's been going on for forever, but it's now become really, really closer to the front than what it was before.
Well, it's pretty much in our face nowadays.
Right.
Yeah, right,
Like we
right.
talked about last time, Jonathan, our worst nightmare and our worst thoughts is when we get close to the southern borders, like when we just discussed this last time a few years ago. And then once they get on over to another country, a human trafficking victim or a child sex trafficking victim, the chances are very slim of finding him. So the most important thing is also working with Homeland Security, which we do, or Border Patrol if we're, by the southern borders. But up here in Indiana, what we're dealing with right now is more out of state people coming in here that aren't even from the state, and we're finding them unregistered as sex offenders here. So we've been cleaning that up since about September. And law enforcement, again, has been very good to work with, and so has Indiana State Patrol, helping us with the truckers.
Well, that's good. Have you guys been able to? Have you guys been able to help stop any of these human trafficking rings yet?
Well, that's another thing. So I'll let Douglas discuss that with you. Go ahead, Doug.
We've provided a lot of information on some cases that are ongoing, but the actual, breaking up a huge ring, you never know. You never know how the cases are going to shake out. Once we do not have any, obviously, no law enforcement authority. So any information that we find, we pass on, and we typically are not going to be kept abreast as to what the law enforcement is doing.
A lot of it is private. Once we pass the information on, whether it be a cold case out here in Indiana or a human trafficking victim, which we try to keep their anonymity because of the seriousness of the nature of the crime. Once we pass that to law enforcement or a hospital, say if a human trafficking victim has to, needs care there, that is no longer in our hands anymore because of the anonymity and the privacy to it and the seriousness.
Do you guys feel these investigators are doing their job?
I do. I think they're doing a good job.
In our particular area,
in your area, that may be very well true. That's your experience. So that's good to hear. That's really good to hear.
My experience, but also Indiana State Patrol has been wonderful to work with. They have actually just done a course for all the truckers that are in the state of Indiana for them to take a short course in what to look for in human or child trafficking at the public rest stops in the state of Indiana. So that's been good. So when we talk about it and we talk about and discuss this openly and honestly and give the people the information and advocate for this cause, it's what really counts, because when people are aware of what to look for and what, signs to see and to prevent them from being a human trafficking victim, these things also help as well.
Yeah. And for our viewing,
I have a question, Jonathan. So are you guys wanting to duplicate this and get this model out to other states, I would imagine?
There's actually other companies that have been setting up. There's a fellow named Craig Sawyer. He has a company that's set up, and he's going after it. And this is really starting to be almost, it's like all the GWAT people, Global War on Terror.
Right.
A lot of us are finding our way into this because of what we saw in particularly Afghanistan. And it really forced you to have an opinion on this. There is no middle ground.
Right. It's
also we've been working with the Department of Justice, which Pam Bondi's a wonderful lady to work with, and the people that work at the Department of Justice, and working with them as well to make sure all of these unregistered sex offenders are on the Department of Justice website or the national trafficking website as well, or predatorial website, which is called the DREAM site, the national site. So we've been doing all that, and that's been positive as well.
Right. So if somebody wants to get involved or be able to reach out to you guys to help with your work, how would they do this?
Our website is urbanosecurity.net.
So
and we are
you want to spell that out for my viewing audience?
Right. It's ORBONA.net. Let me make sure this resolves.
Okay. So we're going to go. Did you got a way to type that in, Julie, and share it?
I will make that attempt. www. Go ahead. ORBANA.
No, it's, hold on. Let me pull it up.
We're getting it for you right now so you can put it up there. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And we want to get people involved, whether it's volunteering or sharing information with us of concerns so we can pass that forward to
Right.
our local law enforcement or state and in Indiana to help, whatever way
Right.
we can.
So today, guys,
I'm gonna drop that into the chat if that's okay. Is that fine?
Yeah.
do you see,
I
do you
think
see the
you can
button?
drop it into
Do-
the private chat, and then I think Jonathan can pick it up from there.
Yeah, or do you see the screen share down at the bottom?
Yeah, you might have a screen share with an arrow in the middle of the screen at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and you should
So
be
if
able
you
to share that.
so if you hit that and then just share the page that has it on it, I'll get it shared over to the audience.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and do that. Thank you. But I will say this, since last time we talked on the news, Jonathan, this
Here we
last
go.
year, we've seen a lot of positive change working against human and child trafficking. And we've
Okay.
seen a lot of participation. And when I really mean this, it takes everyone. Like, we all matter. We all make a difference.
Yeah.
It's not just one
Absolutely.
person that can fight against this, or it's just a small group of people.
What-
However, I do suggest that most of the people that work in this type of security, like Urbano security against pedophilia or child and human trafficking, is that they have some type of law enforcement or military background, because the seriousness of the crimes and the danger, these people are
Right.
extremely
Right.
dangerous, especially
So-
level 3 sex offenders.
So if you could
Absolutely.
scroll that up a little bit on what you're sharing there, so our audience can see. Because looks like you're gonna have to do that from your end. Okay, go a little
So
more.
right now we're just getting started out. Here we got National Human Trafficking as one of our partners. We're quickly going to put up something for Craig Sawyer, because we're going to be doing something with him and his company, which is V4C.
Yes, for child trafficking. So we're going to be
And
doing
then-
some training later this year with him
Right.
as well. So we're working on that.
Right. All
And
right.
we're working to get our 5013C. You know, we're good with the state of Indiana as a tax-free, but we're not good
Okay.
with federal government yet.
All right. Okay. You can go ahead and quit sharing that screen there if you want.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Oh, great. Super. Thank you.
So
Even, we have local churches that are involved. We've spoken to some of the hospitals about our concerns as well, sharing some information. And then in about 8 weeks or so, we plan to have what's called a human trafficking summit, which we'll keep you posted on. That's when we invite law enforcement, or state representative, Congress, mayors, people who want to get involved, and have speakers there. And it's more like a dinner, and it's in an evening. So
Right.
we will have a human trafficking summit coming up here in the next few months
right.
as well for the state of Indiana.
So with you guys working nonprofit, it means you're not making a ton of money doing this kind of stuff. So
No.
if our viewing audience would like to make a contribution towards your work, how would they go about doing that?
In the next few days, we are going to have a link that you can make the donations
Yes.
to, but we're still working the back end on that
Right.
with the fundraiser.
Right.
So right now, are you set up on Zelle or anything like that?
Right now, we are not set up on Zelle. However, we have submitted our information for a nonprofit, basically a fundraiser, but it's being looked at to be approved. It takes a few days when you have a nonprofit and a business versus a personal one.
All right.
We've also received some smaller donations to where we're at. And these are with our personal friends and family that just want to participate in it. And they, sent donations to where our business is at.
Right.
But our business is, for that, we prefer to be online and not have it, put out there where our business is at, because of the dangers of the work against human and child trafficking.
Right.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what we'll go ahead and do, Douglas, why don't you let me know when you get it set up
Yes, sir.
for your donations, and then we'll have you back on live on the air with us as well, and we're going to promote that at the same time. So
Sounds good.
today this is going out on multiple channels, Plus, it's going out on live, on yournews.com, which it
Mhm.
hits every city in the United States when we broadcast this way.
Right.
So this is hitting everywhere.
Right.
So we'll get that out there for our audience to where they know where to make donations to you guys.
Wonderful.
And again, human trafficking is a multi-trillion-dollar operation. We have been big on trying to stop it down in the Tucson sector and the Yuma sector, which we've discussed in the past, Bonnie.
Yes, we
And
have.
this
Very
is
serious.
and
Very serious.
this has been a big ordeal. Even though they say our borders are so-called secure, we know it's still happening, and the human trafficking is still going on.
It
Uh,
does. It
Yes.
does.
So
Unfortunately,
where
we'd like to see it not go on, but this is a pandemic. I called it last time I was on your news, Jonathan. It's a pandemic,
Mhm.
and
yep.
human and
Absolutely.
child trafficking is extremely serious and very dangerous.
Yeah.
Entire.
Not to mention, not just a pandemic. This is a sickness that
An
these people
illness.
have.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
Yes.
It's an illness, and what we've studied exactly in pedophilia is that most sex offenders with child sex offenders, they normally reoffend 99.9% of the time. They
100%.
Absolutely. Yes.
that's the
Yes.
most dangerous part is letting them back out of jails and prisons because within months, days, or even an hour, we've seen this, Jonathan, they're back reoffending
Yep.
another child.
Yep.
So
Yep.
100%.
it is something. It's a repeat offender type of moment. It's not like we discussed people going through drug rehab and they don't do drugs or alcohol for 20 years after that. These
Right.
people, 99.9% of the time that child traffic or pedophilia, they do normally reoffend.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Right.
Well, if you guys could give me
So
1 second, I've got to advertise for one of our promoters of our channel. I'm advertising today. Loaded Gun Copy right there. Steve and Terry Thomas out of Lake Havasu, Arizona. And if you guys, every time you guys scan that to make a purchase, if you enter in your news AZJTA at the time you're making a purchase, Steve and Terry Thomas donates a small portion over to Your News Arizona, and we highly appreciate you, Stephen and Terry Thomas. Thanks for all that you guys do as well, and
Thank
thanks
you.
for. But other than that, I'll leave that up for a second for people, and then
all
also
right.
if you,
So I've got some questions. So what can you share with we the people walking around, especially as single female, to protect ourselves, keep ourselves safe? I know I've seen a lot of videos recently of women walking in the grocery store and getting cornered by a couple of dudes. So what can we be doing out here to keep ourselves safe?
Do you know what my suggestion is to most women is a simple 8-week self-defense course. It does really help, whether it be martial arts or some type of self-defense course.
Okay.
As well as women, especially women, I tell them don't go out at dark at the grocery stores and the parking lots. You got to turn your
Mhm.
back and put your groceries in, and the next thing you know, you're being pushed in your car and you're gone with a predator.
Right.
So those are things. Go in a group, go in two. Don't go by yourself right now. And these are things that are normal, that we try to do or try to talk to our kids about as well. Go in a group, 2 people, 3 people. You're less likely to have this kind of crime happen to you when there's more than one of you with, 2 or 3
yeah.
people with you. Yeah.
Well,
So,
Right.
what you're kind of what you're saying here, Bonnie. I want to get this out there to the audience.
yes.
I've heard so many people when we're talking about how dangerous it is going into Mexico, how dangerous it is, like what you're saying, Bonnie, when you're out shopping at night, for a single woman being
Right.
by herself, and I get people turn around and tell me constantly, well, I'm not going to live my life in fear 24/7. Well, to you guys that have that attitude, I just want to say this. We are living in an ever changing world. This world is not the world that we grew up back in the 80s, 70s. This today, folks, it's a dog eat dog world, and these predators are searching for people just like you with that attitude. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you.
You're correct. We've
eh,
talked about this. Yeah,
eh,
that is
eh,
correct. The
And I'll,
attitude of I don't care and I'm not scared at all. It's
yep,
not about being fearful every day of your life or every minute. It's about being aware. And once
That's
you have
right.
that awareness and you take action on it, like self-defense classes or a course in self-defense, or bringing another friend with you or your boyfriend or husband, or going to the store with two people together, you'll start to see that the awareness is there. That doesn't mean live in fear. I tell
Yeah.
people, please don't live in fear, but do be aware that this is something that goes on every day. In
Right.
fact, we
Right.
have over 116 people to 120 reported missing every day in the United States of America. that
Yep.
are-
That's daily. Yeah, you're right.
Daily.
Well,
Daily.
you know, I just recently talked to somebody that messaged me. We ended up having a phone conversation because here several months back, I was telling Americans do not travel to Mexico. You know,
No.
and even Homeland Security was telling you right over their websites, you know, do not travel to Mexico. You know,
Right.
because of the right now, all of our border towns right now have a heavy presence of cartel that are abducting the women or the
Yes.
couples if it's a husband and wife. And
Yes.
what they'll do is they'll hold them for ransom.
Mhm.
And trust me, folks, if you're abducted in Mexico, the chances of you coming back alive
Are very small.
is very very small. So what they'll do with your wives, with your children, even they'll pimp them out to the whorehouses. Once they're used up, they'll slice their throats, and trust me, they'll kill the husband.
Yes.
And
Mm.
and again, we're not trying to put fear in everybody, but at the same time, this does happen each and every day.
Simply
And
putting awareness out. Go
yep.
ahead.
And we constantly hear people talk about, oh, well, I've been over to Nogales, Mexico, and been here and there, and oh, it's just a great place, never a problem. Well, the person that reached out to me was with the group that went over to Nogales, Mexico, and here's the problem that they ended up having: three other people in their group come up missing, and to this day,
Whoa.
they have still not recovered them yet. They're still missing.
Whoa.
Yeah, the chances of being
Whoa.
found in Mexico after you go missing are very, very small.
Yep.
0.02%
Yep.
chance is
But the
what.
thing is, this guy had watched my previous broadcast, and he goes, "I didn't take it seriously because we always thought the border towns were safe." And he
Right.
goes,
Right.
"God, I wish we would have listened to you."
Yeah, you
Uh,
have to have situational awareness at all times. You've got to
Yep.
know your 5 and 25, and you've got to be the one in an area that the bad guy doesn't want to test.
Yep.
That guy is going to go after the guy that's not paying attention
That's
and
right.
all of that. So if you got your situational awareness about you and you're radiating that out, a lot of people will back off.
Yep.
Some won't,
Right.
but most will.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, again, you know, you can go into Mexico 100 times, and chances
Right.
are you might not have a problem one,
Right.
but that 101st time is all it takes.
Right. When you
Right.
get comfortable in the area
Yep.
and you start thinking you understand the rhythm and all of that, you're going to find that you don't.
Well,
I've
and
spent
a lot of
20 years
yeah,
overseas, so I'm always the outsider.
yeah,
So you just become completely aware of that kind
yeah.
of stuff.
And one of the things that was brought to my attention as well, a lot of times what the cartel does, because the cartel has facial recognition. They can even run your license plates and know right where
Yes.
you live in America. But here's the thing. A lot of times, from my understanding, what the cartel does as well is they observe the repeat people coming in, and they follow what they're doing, the kind of money that they're spending to give them an idea: is this person well off, or is this person just
Exactly.
coming over for some cheap medication and see you? Um, and once they start observing, they start targeting them, and then sooner or later, that one time they go in to have a great old time, they get abducted.
Right.
Mhm.
So again, this is something American people need to pay attention to. And again, I would not travel over there unless I was with a large party. But
Right.
at the same time, people in these large parties come up missing.
They do. And
Right.
it's reported every day. It just, we don't see it all the time, but it does happen very often in Mexico. That's why it's not reported a lot, because of the fact it happens so often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie, you were starting to say something.
Yeah, something that I've learned recently was that um, females, sometimes the car will be marked on the back of the car as AF. standing for alone female if you're traveling by yourself. So I would recommend that if you're female traveling by yourself, get out and always check the back of your car to make sure that it's not being marked. In addition, I've heard of when you pull up to the gas station, there might be a piece of a paper towel around the handle, to not touch that handle because there may be something on it that would make you so that you are unable to respond and they're watching you. And
Yeah.
so just more things to be aware of. Again, constant awareness, head on the swivel. It's
Head on the
it's crazy
swivel,
time
yeah.
out there, you know? It's crazy.
Go ahead, Doug.
Yeah, in every way, what we were dealing with in the early 90s from like Plan Colombia and all of that stuff, that for most Americans was in South America and really didn't affect America overall. They thought they were wrong. But all of that has moved to our doorstep nowadays.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
We've been fully infiltrated. Yes.
yes,
Yes, we have.
yes, I was speaking to a Secret Service agent a couple of years ago, and this was about probably about mid Biden. And he was telling me that 1% coming across the border are actually from the DPRK, North Korea.
Right.
And
Wow.
these are North Korean special forces. These guys are very, very well trained, very dedicated, completely ideological in their turn. So it is an invasion.
Yeah.
And
100%.
they're going to get
Absolutely.
into drugs, into into human trafficking because they're completely immoral.
What we're seeing out here
Absolutely.
too, that Indiana's been working on very diligently as a state, is they have been shutting down salon massage parlors that human traffic in the state of Indiana.
Right.
So they have been investigating them, and there's been 7 shut down in the last 6 months that are basically, they're supposed to be salons or spas, and they're human trafficking women. So the state of Indiana has been very cooperative and good to go and look and make sure that it's, a massage or basically something kind of salon, not that people are human trafficked within, a salon or
Right.
a
Right.
parlor.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So
That's
that's
good.
good.
They've got
Really,
the
really
awareness.
good about
That's it.
that.
Yeah, that's a good ratio, about 1 a month. So
Yes. So that's been good. So those are positives. I really do want to reiterate for all women, if they can, is to take a short self-defense class, even if it's 8 weeks at some martial arts, type of environment. Because if you have to grab your pepper spray or some type of thing out of your purse or even off your keychain, by the time that does happen, you're already pushed in the car or pushed down on the ground and raped or something even more serious.
Yep.
So it's nice to have the martial arts and the self-defense. If you can do this, women and teenage girls, that's great. And it's great exercise.
100%
Yep.
agree.
when I
So,
was growing up, they would call me Leadfoot, and it wasn't because I was driving fast. It was because I would kick the boys if they'd hack me off. So
Mhm.
I
I
learned
hear
real
that.
quick where the susceptible parts are on the male anatomy.
Right, exactly. Because like I said, if you have to try to grab, I have pepper spray, but if you have to try to grab for that in those instantaneous seconds, you could pretty much get pushed down, raped, or pushed in your car and you're gone. So
Right.
these are good self-defense tools to have, and it also keeps you aware. And they do the training on to keep your hands open and all the things that we're discussing, but more in depth when you have an 8-week course in self-defense.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's one thing you can never have is too much training. That's for sure.
That's right.
Yep. Um,
Not right.
Douglas, you guys planning any trips out to Arizona?
Not right at the moment, but you never know how that's going to go. So,
Well, you
I'd
guys
love to come out and see you, Jonathan, and both of you. I think for Douglas, we were discussing this today. Douglas, with all his military training and background and all of his work throughout the years, I think it'd be great for Douglas to go out and see the southern borders with you, Jonathan. Although I know that you don't want me to come there because we've discussed that before, how dangerous it is. But yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely not
So,
not a place for me, Jonathan.
right, same here. And the thing of it is, we do comprehend that the cartel's really good at going after women when it comes to getting really wanting to affect the men in the group. And so therefore, we don't want to put anybody else into harm's way. So
And that also goes as well with this working against human and child trafficking, where we, work with local law enforcement or work with especially men that are very well trained, military equipped men, because of the fact that if I go in a group and go against it, and these pedophiles or some type of home that human traffickers are in, they'll come at me just to get at the men that, that are there trying to work out the situation and arrest the human trafficking.
Exactly.
So
So we
normally I'm behind the screen.
Yeah.
How much of a presence of ICE do you guys have up there right now?
We're not seeing them right now. They are coming to Ohio soon, and then I'm sure they'll probably be around here. We're sitting in southern Indiana, so we have the I-65 corridor. So that's all the way down from Miami to Chicago, and then we've got I-71, which goes from basically the east to the west coast.
So you guys aren't really that far from Bloomfield, Indiana, are you?
Not too bad. We're about an hour away from
that's
we're
right.
about 10 minutes away from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Now, Louisville, Kentucky, on the other, just 10 miles away approximately, has had some ICE action going on over there and some federal raids recently that have to do with, narcotics and drugs. So, yeah.
Have you
They're
guys
great to work with too, though? We're in a security group with them on a forum on Facebook, and they've been wonderful to work with as well.
One of the big concerns right now, Jonathan, is what's going on with the funding for ICE.
Yeah.
Now we've got another shutdown, and these men and women are putting themselves in harm's way, and they need to be paid.
Well, I think Donald Trump is going to be able to take from the military funds and keep them going. I think I think at this moment in time, if he bows to the Democrats on this one right here, I can tell you right now, Trump will lose my support.
Oh yeah. I believe he understands that this is a make or break. You need to do what you said you were going to do.
I mean, so far promises that were made have been kept. And
yes, sir, that's correct. President Trump has been a great president. Thank you.
And I'll tell you right now, I can't see Donald Trump bowing to these guys, because these guys right now, and Trump knows it. These guys are protecting human traffickers. They're protecting your rapists, your child molesters. Yeah, I mean, anybody that has the capital D behind their name right now, in my book, I'd be crawling under a rock if I was one of them.
And that was very hard when I went on the news with you last time, Jonathan, as we were just in our first year, or was it the first or second year of the Biden administration, and we were having the invasion of the borders, and 800,000 women and children disappeared in America every year during the Biden administration. Yeah.
Well, and I can tell you, I've seen some pretty awful crap down on the borders.
Yes, you have.
And thank God I value my freedom, because, I'm not going to say it didn't cross my mind wanting to put a bolt between somebody's eyes, for the crap that I knew they had actually seen them doing right through the border, right through the border. But again, if people are to be like that, first of all, it takes you out of the fight. It takes, and that's what the enemy wants. They want us to get so entangled in this that we react and do something stupid ourselves that costs us our freedom.
Exactly. And that's why you have to keep a level head. And I know for me as a woman, it's hard time to time. Trust me, it is, Jonathan.
That's a cornerstone of asymmetric warfare. You need to understand that when you're out and about, they are going to be goading you. They've got somebody taping. If it goes the right way to work and look, an emotional hook for them, and it's definitely going to get public. We've seen that in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, everywhere. Everywhere the U.S. forces are engaged, we were dealing with the same thing, and we're dealing with it here. You can see it in Minneapolis, where they actually had it coordinated from their politicians, coordinated cell. You know, that young man shows up to that demonstration, and it's tragic that he got shot. It truly is.
Yep.
But why would you go to a demonstration with a firearm after you've already had an altercation a week before,
Yep.
and now you've
Right.
gotten a brand new firearm, and it's really one of the most dangerous firearms in America.
Yep.
You know, everybody knows this thing goes off on its own.
Yep.
Right.
There's several law enforcement have had in holster uncommanded discharges with these.
Yep.
So
Wow.
it kind of tells me that guy doesn't really know a lot about guns.
Yep.
And then that kind of makes me question the provenance of that gun.
Yep.
Because there were a lot of that particular model that were given out that were put into the military pipeline to replace the Berettas.
Yep.
So,
One of the things that I did happen to witness, and I have not been able to verify whether this video's been altered yet or not, but from what I can see, it doesn't appear to be altered. I disagree with the second guy that shot. And I do. I have to say that. If you count the time from the first shots that the guy shot him, the guy was not moving at all from that point. I'm not quite understanding why the other guy still ended up shooting him 4 or 5 more shots into the guy. That to me is excessive kill.
At the
But
same time, not to be the devil's advocate, but I'm going to be here. There was also talk that the person that did the extra shooting there did
Yeah.
not potentially see that the gun had been removed.
Okay.
Was some of it. I
Eh,
think that's a lot of the controversy right now. We're not
yeah.
sure what he saw, what he heard, his angle.
Yeah. Well,
So,
that's
but
what that's why I said, Julie. I haven't seen all the evidence yet to verify
yeah,
all this. So, and I hope they do provide it to the American people so we can see exactly what really did take place.
right.
And for all we know, chances are we're never going to get the 100% true story
I think
behind
what
it.
I would like to share, Jonathan, on this note about ICE raids or anything that's going on just so serious right now. If you're aware of an ICE raid in your area, I suggest, this is only a suggestion, that you just stay clear from that area until the ICE raid is over and not surmount into a bigger mountain to the problem that already is there and the seriousness and the danger that's already involved. So
100% agree.
my suggestion as a humanitarian aid is just don't be at an ICE raid. Don't be downtown if something's going on or any type of raid that demands federal attention. You're putting
Right.
yourself in a line of danger. It's just common sense and just my opinion.
Well, and the
well,
other thing the other thing we got to take into consideration, each and every one of these people are out obstructing justice. They're interfering with a federal operation.
Thank you.
They are blowing these ICE agents cover, blowing the whistles off. For all you know, the person that's being alerted could be very well armed. They don't know this. Nobody
Right.
knows
right.
until they take them into custody. But
Right.
here's the thing: they're putting these ICE agents' lives in harm's way by their actions, and that right there should be immediate arrest on them, and just get them out of the picture. And
Right.
as far as the casualties, the deaths, I'm just going to say it, and I might sound cold hearted, but that's the casualties of war, folks. And the Democrats have basically declared war on the American people. You know,
It did.
Completely.
and,
Well, I've got the numbers from Border Patrol on crimes that are high level felonies. We're talking murder, illegal drug possession, illegal weapon, sexual offense. In FYI 25, we had 2,162. I guess these are Class A felonies from illegal immigrants, and that's just ones that actually made it into the reporting system. I'm sure there was
Right.
more.
And
Well, I'm
that's
sure
murder,
too.
rape. I mean, capital murder, statutory rape, things that
And these are against
horrid,
American
yes,
citizens.
against American citizens. So those are
yeah,
very, very serious crimes. Yeah.
yep,
So if there's that many, there's more that we just don't know about. And that's the seriousness of, again, working against human and child trafficking. It's one of the most dangerous jobs I've done. And I've done this job a long time, but it's very dangerous.
yeah.
It's just a very serious situation every time you're doing it. You're
Well,
putting
we,
your life danger.
Yeah, well, I agree. Anytime you put yourself on the front line of any kind of situation, yeah, your life's in harm's way.
Just like freedom of speech, right, Jonathan? We've discussed
Yeah,
this as
yeah,
well. When you
yeah,
discuss this on the news and you discuss it openly and honestly, it's not for everybody, and you can also become a target. So we
oh,
try to just open and honestly discuss this at the best that we can with
yeah,
compassion and understanding with
yeah.
our integrity.
Well, that's why it's so important. When we're out broadcasting, we tell people, please follow, share our page, get it out there, share our broadcast. This is what keeps us going is by you guys sharing this stuff, getting it out to the American people. This is why, it's important to share the real news, not this fake BS where they dramatize everything and they try to make it appear to be something that's not. You know,
Right,
It
right.
just, I mean, and that's why, body, we've discussed it in the past. That's why when we're down on the borders, we report live. It's live feed.
Yes.
That way, people can't come back and go, "Oh, you guys edited that to make it look like this was happening when it wasn't." You can't
Right.
dispute. You can't.
Yeah, no, that's legacy media
Yep.
bullshit crap that they
Exactly. I
pull
mean,
all
I've
the
been on the
time.
news with you, Jonathan, when you've been
Yep.
reporting live from Border News, and if you remember, I helped you with the truckers convoy,
Yep.
and was on the news as well with that. I like to report live as well with you and with any type of environment that does with news for the integrity of journalism
Yep.
itself.
I can tell you this
Yep.
from like a media perspective, and because of where I've worked and what I've done. One, the media is totally and completely controlled by
Yep.
by organizations within the United States government. And once we
Mhm.
fully rolled out AI, we've had artificial intelligence since 1930s.
Right.
It's been being worked on, but generative AI is something that was really new. But if you understand it, you can start going back and you're going to see news stories that
Yep.
now look really, really hokey. But
Yep.
at the time, because you
Mm.
didn't know that there was this technology, and we were using it as a weapons platform.
Yep.
AI has been a weapons platform for the DoD for quite some time because all warfare is information warfare.
I
You know,
bet you AI's
That's
been.
right.
I bet you AI's been around probably for at least 30 years, if not a little longer.
actually, so yeah, I've taken a couple of courses about AI from a few different schools. Dr. Marvin Minsky from MIT is
Okay.
actually one of the considered founding fathers or whatnot. But the Jetsons, if you remember the Jetsons,
Yep.
that was the
Sure.
Marvin Minsky interview said in the future, this is kind of what it's going to be like with AI. And at that time, everybody was driving one flavor, which was more heuristic. But now we're going with the LLMs or the CNNs, and it's just way better at parsing through information. And I only need 3 seconds. If I get 3 seconds of video and voice, I can completely edit you out and do the
Yep.
entire show. I
Yep.
mean, it is,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's moving at a very, very fast pace, and nobody knows what's coming out of the actual frontier labs because they're not telling the truth.
Right.
So yeah,
Well.
it's going to be something that is definitely going to get wrapped up in all of this. The cartels are going to use it to their advantage.
Yep.
Human and child trafficking, it's going to get used to their
Right.
advantage. We're using it on our side.
And we're
for our
using it for
advantage.
also missing women
But
and
it's-
children. AI is a
game changer.
great tool for that.
Right.
So we can go ahead and do, inventory optimization with the AI and take a closer look at what we're doing with a cold case or a missing woman or child.
Right.
So there
Right.
is some
Well, so
positive
Douglas-
AI, but yeah.
Yeah. There's some good things about AI,
Yeah.
but there's probably, in my opinion, at this moment, probably a lot more bad than good.
Yeah.
That it's actually being used for.
One of the funny
Well,
things
Douglas,
is
we have
I was in
Go ahead,
Baghdad.
Julie.
we have a special we got a special place in our hearts for the mainstream media. We like to call them prostitutes.
Yeah. I was in Baghdad one time, and we always had to monitor multiple news channels. So there was breaking news, a massive firefight in Baghdad, which was right outside my door.
Right.
And on breaking news with live coverage, it was like midnight. So all the tracers, it's very dramatic. But I'm like, man, it's like 11 in the morning here. apparently there's another Baghdad and they're at war too.
Yeah.
Because
Yep,
the
I've heard
news
that
just made
from
it more
many.
dramatic, and most
That from
Americans.
many veterans. Yep,
Oh
veterans.
yeah,
They're like, that crap happened 4 months ago when I was over such and such.
right. I mean, you noticed it as soon as you went over just how bad it was, and most Americans don't catch on that. They're 12 hours out of sync.
Right.
If it's nighttime here, it's got to be daytime there.
Right.
Well, maybe one of the things we ought to focus on as well. Maybe we can give you guys some kind of tips as we know of human trafficking headed your way, and maybe vice versa.
Yes,
Because
please do.
we are all about putting a stop to human trafficking. That's one of the things I've focused on for a lot
Many
of years.
years, Jonathan, you have.
A lot of years at it.
Yes, you have.
And we've actually stopped some pretty big organizations.
Yes, you have.
So that's one of the things we tell people. If you see something suspicious, just automatically, I don't care what you're thinking at that moment. If it looks out of place, a good example, you see some child out by themselves out in front of a motel. When I say child, 10, 11, 12 years old, or maybe even a little younger sometimes. If you see them outside unattended, you know what? Report it immediately, automatic.
Right.
Because that's one of the things that they use to draw people in is children.
They do, unfortunately.
And so if it looks suspicious, just report it. You know what? And don't think you're being a narc or anything else. You are a concerned citizen wanting to know why is this young person outside of a motel room 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
I mean, there's all kinds of trainings you guys out there watching can go out. A lot of these organizations offer training classes that tell you how to observe and notice human trafficking.
Yes, and when we do our summit, that's what we're going to discuss at our summit. So our
Yeah.
Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Summit for the state of Indiana, we'll be discussing some of that. And we'll have public speakers, including myself, speaking at that event, so we can discuss those things and what to look for as well.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, you guys are doing some great work out there.
Thank you.
Appreciate all that you guys are doing as well. And
Absolutely.
let's definitely stay in touch. And Douglas, let's have you back on our show as well again.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Jonathan.
And then, like I said, and once you get your private funding coming in, we'll advertise it on here so people know how they can make contributions towards what you guys are doing.
Sounds great. Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Jonathan. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And let's work together. If we hear anything coming your way regarding human trafficking or a missing person that might be in your area, we will definitely collaborate and work with you as well.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. So,
Yeah.
well, listen, guys,
Thank you.
we're
Thank you.
about 5 minutes over on our broadcast today, but that's all right. Appreciate you guys being on our show again. If you guys want to reach out to Douglas and Bonnie, you want to repeat that website one more time, Douglas?
It's Orbano Security. So ORBONA security.net. And what Orbano is the Roman goddess of bereaved parents.
Okay. And do you guys have like a PO box or something that people want to mail in a contribution or whatever?
Yeah, it is on the website. At the very bottom of the website is our current address, and
Our business.
for soon we'll probably be moving locations in a little bit, but right now that's going to be where we're at.
Okay. So if you guys
great.
would like to make a contribution to what these guys are doing, I'm sure they would highly appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, we would.
And reach out on the website and get the address, and you guys can mail in a contribution at this point.
Thank you.
Yep, and appreciate all you guys do. God bless you. And
It was nice to see you again, Jonathan. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, good to see you guys. And sorry we're running so late. Like I said, I had doctor's appointments. And Julie D, hopefully we can get your screen fixed for next time.
And nice to meet you, Julie. Thanks for having us as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right,
Great to
guys.
meet you guys. See you again.
We'll be back live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 Pacific. Jonathan and Julie D in the morning. not afternoon. But either way, we'll see you guys again live tomorrow morning. Hope you guys can tune in. And again, appreciate you guys being on the show. God bless you guys.
God bless
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
God
having
bless.
us.
All right. Everybody have a great afternoon and be safe out there.
We
God
will.
bless.